11 number. 1111 is the natural number following 10 and preceding 12. It is the first repdigit. In English, it is the smallest positive integer requiring 3 syllables. Name. 11 derives from the Old English endliofin, which is first attested in Bede's late 9th century ecclesiastical history of the English people. It has cognates in every Germanic language, for example, German elf, whose Proto-Germanic ancestor has been reconstructed as *ana from the prefix *ana adjectival one and suffix *lifa of uncertain meaning. It is sometimes compared with the Lithuanian vienuolika, although lika is used as the suffix for all numbers from 11 to 19 analogous to teen. The Old English form has closer cognates in Old Frisian, Saxon, and Norse, whose ancestor has been reconstructed as *ainlefun. This has formerly been considered derived from Proto-Germanic *10. It is now sometimes connected with *lakewa or *left remaining, with the implicit meaning that one is left after having already counted to 10. In languages. While, as mentioned above, 11 has its own name in Germanic languages such as English, German, or Swedish, and some Latin-based languages such as Spanish, Portuguese, and French, it is the first compound number in many other languages: Italian undesai, Chinese shi, Korean yolhana or Sibyl ship-il. In mathematics, 11 is a prime number. Is the smallest two-digit prime number in the decimal base. The next prime is 13, with which it comprises a twin prime. If a number is divisible by 11, reversing its digits will result in another multiple of 11. As long as no two adjacent digits of a number added together exceed 9, for example, 142,312 x 11 equals 1,565,432 2,345,651/11 equals 213,241. Multiples of 11 by one-digit numbers all have matching double digits. 0 equals 0, 11, 22, 33, 44, etc. An 11-sided polygon is called a hendecagon or undecagon. There are 11 regular and semi-regular convex uniform tilings in the second dimension, and 11 planigons that correspond to these 11 regular and semi-regular tilings. In base 10, there is a simple test to determine if an integer is divisible by 11. Take every digit of the number located in odd position and add them up. Then take the remaining digits and add them up. If the difference between the two sums is a multiple of 11, including 0, then the number is divisible by 11. For instance, if the number is 65,637, then 6 plus 6 plus 7 5 plus 3 equals 19 8 equals 11, so 65,637 is divisible by 11. This technique also works with groups of digits rather than individual digits, so long as the number of digits in each group is odd, although not all groups have to have the same number of digits. For instance, if one uses 3 digits in each group, one gets from 65,637 the calculation 65,637 equals 572, which is divisible by 11. Another test for divisibility is to separate a number into groups of 2 consecutive digits, adding a leading 0 if there is an odd number of digits, and then add up the numbers so formed. If the result is divisible by 11, the number is divisible by 11. For instance, if the number is 65,637, 6 plus 56 plus 37 equals 99, which is divisible by 11, so 65,637 is divisible by 11. This also works by adding a trailing 0 instead of a leading one. 65 plus 63 plus 70 equals 198, which is divisible by 11. This also works with larger groups of digits, providing that each group. An easy way of multiplying numbers by 11 in base 10 is if the number has one digit, replicate the digit so 2x11 becomes 22. Two digits, add the two digits together and place the result in the middle so 47x11 becomes 4117 or 410 plus 17 or 4 plus 117 or 517. Three digits, keep the first digit in its place for the result's first digit. Add the first and second digits together to form the result's second digit. Add the second and third digits together to form the result's third digit, and keep the third digit as the result's fourth digit. For any resulting numbers greater than 9, carry the 1 to the left. Example 1, 123x11 becomes 1 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 3 or 1353. Example 2, 481x11 becomes 4 plus 8, 8 plus 1 or 410 plus 2 9 or 4 plus 1 291 or 5291. Four or more digits follow the same pattern as for three digits. In base 13 and higher bases such as hexadecimal, 11 is represented as B, where 10 is A. In duodecimal, however, 11 is sometimes represented as E and 10 as T or X. There are 11 orthogonal curvilinear coordinate systems to within a conformal symmetry in which the three-variable Helmholtz equation can be solved using the separation of variables technique. See also 11 cell. 11 of the 35 hexaominoes can be folded to form, i.e., can serve as a net for a cube. 11 of the 66 octaemons can be folded to form a regular octahedron. 11 is the fourth Sophie Germain prime, the third Safe prime, the fourth Lucas prime, the first Rapunit prime, the second Good prime, and the second Unique prime. Although it is necessary for n to be prime for 2 and 1 to be a Mersenne prime, the converse is not true. 211 1 equals 2047, which is 23x89. 11 raised to the nth power is the nth row of Pascal's triangle. This works for any base, but the number 11 must be changed to the number represented as 11 in that base. For example, in duodecimal this must be done using 13. 11 is a Heidner number, meaning that the ring of integers of the field Q 11 \displaystyle\math Q \sqrt 11 has the property of unique factorization. One consequence of this is that there exists at most one point on the elliptic curve x3 equals a 12 plus 11 that has positive integer coordinates. In this case, this unique point is 1558. On the 7-segment display of a calculator, 11 is both a strobogrammatic prime and a dihedral prime. List of basic calculations. In numeral systems. In science, 11 is the atomic number of the element sodium. In chemistry, group 11 of the periodic table of the elements EUPAC numbering consists of the three coinage metals copper, the number of spacetime dimensions in M-theory. Astronomy. Apollo 11 was the first manned spacecraft to land on the Moon. The approximate periodicity of a sunspot cycle is 11 years. Messier object M11, a magnitude 7.0 open cluster in the constellation Scutum, also known as the Wild Duck Cluster. The new General Catalog object NGC 11, spiral galaxy in the constellation Andromeda. The 11th moon of Jupiter is Himalaya. In religion, Christianity. After Judas Iscariot was disgraced, the remaining apostles of Jesus were sometimes described as the 11 Mark 16, 11, Luke 24:9 and 24:33. The New Living Translation says Peter stepped forward with the 11 other apostles, making clear that the number of apostles was now 12. Saint Ursula is said to have been martyred in the 3rd or 4th century in Cologne with a number of companions, whose reported number varies from 5 to 11. A legend that Ursula died with 11,000 virgin companions has been thought to appear from misreading Roman 11. MV, Latin abbreviation for 11 martyr virgins, as 11,000 virgins. Babylonian. In the Enuma Elish, the goddess Tiamat creates 11 monsters to take revenge for the death of her husband, Apsu. In music, the interval of an octave and a fourth is an 11th. A complete 11th chord has almost every note of a diatonic scale. The number of thumb keys on a bassoon, not counting the whisper key. A few bassoons have a 12th thumb key. In the mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, Spinal Tap's amplifiers go up to 11. In Igor Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring, there are 11 consecutive repetitions of the same chord. In Tool's song Jimmy and in Negativland's song Time Zones, the number 11 is heard numerous times in the lyrics. 11 pipers piping is the gift on the 11th day of Christmas in the carol The 12 Days of Christmas. In Green Grow the Rushes, oh, 11 is for the 11 who went to heaven. The 11 is a song by the Grateful Dead. In Time Enough for Rocking When We're Old by the Magnetic Fields, a lyric references when our pheromones go up to 11. 11 Records is the record label of Jason Webley, and many of Webley's works feature the number 11. 11 is an album by Come, Incognito, Martina McBride, 22 Pistaperco, 11, Harry Connick Jr., Tina Arena, Jeff Lorber and Mike Stern, Riemann, Wagon Cookin', Mr. Fogg, the Birdland Big Band, Pearl Django, Daniel Pina, the Knucks, Igor Lumpert. In sports, there are 11 players on an association football soccer team on the field at a time. An American football team also has 11 players on the field at one time during play. #11 is worn by quarterbacks, kickers, punter, and wide receivers in American football's NFL. There are 11 players on a bandy team on the ice at a time. In cricket, a team has 11 players on the field. The 11th player is usually the weakest batsman at the tail end. He is primarily in the team for his bowling abilities. There are 11 players in a field hockey team. The player wearing 11 will usually play on the left-hand side, as in soccer. In NASCAR racing, Denny Hamlin won in his 11th race of the closest Daytona 500 in No. 11 car for a margin of 0. 1 seconds. In most rugby league competitions, but not the Super League, which uses static squad numbering, one of the starting second row forwards wears the number 11. In rugby union, the starting left wing wears the number 11 shirt. In the military, the number of guns in a gun salute to U.S. Army, the military occupational specialty MOS designator given to U.S. Army infantry officer, as well as to enlisted personnel ACA 11 MOS series, or 11B, 11C, 11D, 11H, 11M, etc. The number of general orders for sentries in the Marine Corps and United States Navy. A page in the service record book of an enlisted Marine for writing down disciplinary actions. World War I ended with an armistice on November 11, 1918, which went into effect at 11:00 on the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month of the year. Armistice Day is still observed on November 11 of each year, although it is now called Veterans Day in the United States and Remembrance Day in the Commonwealth of Nations and parts of Europe. In computing, In Mozilla Firefox, Opera, Conqueror for KDE, Google Chrome, and Internet Explorer for Windows, the function key F11 key toggles full screen viewing mode. In Mac OS, F11 hides all open windows. The windowing system for Unix computers is known as Z11. Computers of the PEP11 series from Digital Equipment Corporation were informally referred to as 11s. In Canada, the stylized maple leaf on the flag of Canada has 11 points. A loonie is a hendecagon, an 11-sided polygon. Clocks depicted on Canadian currency, like the Canadian $50 bill, show 11-0. In other fields, Sector 11 in the North American Industry Classification System is the code for agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting industries. Being only 1 hour before 12:00, the 11th hour means the last possible moment to take care of something, and often implies a situation of urgent danger or emergency. See doomsday clock. In astrology, Aquarius is the 11th astrological sign of the zodiac. In Basque, Hamaca 11 has the double meaning of infinite, probably from Amagabe, endless, as in Hamaca Aldis Efortsico Essen Dizut. I told you infinite/11 times to come. English-speaking surveyors have developed several slang terms for 11 to distinguish it from its rhymes 7, punk, top, and railroad. American Airlines Flight 11, a Boston-Los Angeles flight which crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City, New York, after being hijacked by terrorists on September 11, 2001. The number 11 bus is a low-cost way of sightseeing in London. In the game of blackjack, an ace can be counted as either 1 or 11, whichever is more advantageous for the player. 11 is the number of the French department Aude. 3 films Ben-Hur 1959, Titanic 1997, and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King 2003 have each won 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of their respective years. Ocean's 11 is the name of 2 American films. In the anime series Code Geass, Japan is known as Area 11 of the Britannian Empire. 11 is the name of a character in the 2016 Netflix original series Stranger Things, portrayed by Millie Bobby Brown.